Hi friends, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new here. My name is Kate and today we're going to be doing the makeup red flags tag. This was inspired by Lauren Mae Beauty. I will happily link her down below. Go show her some love. I love her channel and her content is just so good. So if this is something that you're interested in, please give this video a thumbs up. Would love it if you would subscribe to my channel down below. And without any further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. So the first red flag I would say for me is probably the biggest, and it's anything limited edition. Listen, I don't want something that is going to be beautiful and amazing and lovely that I can't then get the next year when I inevitably run out of it. I don't think any of us want that. I understand the marketing behind it, right? I understand that the brand is trying to create hype and they're trying to create this frenzy, and that's part of it. That is honestly part of like why I can't stand limited edition products, is that it creates this frenzy and we feel like we're missing out on something, and then we foolishly, silly geese that we are, spend money on things that we would not have impulsively purchased like that if it hadn't had those words limited edition. And I have fallen prey so many times to things that say limited edition, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, it's gonna be this amazing formula because I know this product, but this shade or this packaging is limited edition, and then the product is not the same. That's even more, I dare say, even more offensive than loving a product and then having it discontinued and you can't find it again. Because in those instances, at least it gives us an opportunity to try new makeup, which if you're anything like me, you'll know we're going to try new things anyways. But to be lured in by this facade that it's going to be the same product we know and love and then it's different, I think is really hurtful. So for me, I'm really wary anytime a product says limited edition. It's gonna be a giant red flag for me. The next red flag for me is anything that says pH balanced. It's gonna color change from unicorn sparkle snot to your lips but better. That is not going to happen, my friends. I'm here and I'm talking into the mic because this is serious. It's not going to change to anything other than bright pink. It's just not. I have fallen for this gimmick time and time again. Thankfully not in recent years because I learned my lesson. It's always going to turn like a magenta pink. It's not going to be my lips but better, your cheeks but better, so natural. It's not going to be any of those things. It's going to be bright frickin' magenta. Maybe if we're lucky, they'll throw some sparkle in there, some glitter. And lucky is a loose term because then good luck getting that off your cheeks. Good luck. And TikTok's bringing it back around. It's so interesting because I remember in peak YouTube beauty era, there was, I think it was Wet n Wild maybe, had, oh golly, I feel like it was Wet n Wild. I could be mistaken, but it was a black blush. And it went from black to your skin but better, or like, you know, it's gonna adjust to your skin tone. No, it's not. It's gonna be bright freaking magenta. And the black one, my friends, the black one had like a hint of gray. So it was not only hideously magenta, but it was then had like this gray undertone. Oh my gosh, if I can find a picture of it, I will put it somewhere on the screen. But guys, just trust me, it was horrific. And now I'm seeing the same thing but green. And honestly, didn't Lipstick Queen do this almost 10 years ago? 8 years ago? And we're falling for it again. Guys, come on. Gen Z, you're smarter than this. Anything that's going to change to be mesh with my pH balance is just going to be an absolute no for me. It's going to be bright magenta and I'm going to look like I'm 6 years old again playing in makeup. It's just no. It's just a no. This one I haven't heard anyone talk about yet, but it gets me every time. Anytime I see a bunny on a packaging that's not like Leaping Bunny or PETA, and PETA is like, I could get a whole other video about PETA, but my point being, anytime I see a bunny that is specifically not Leaping Bunny certified or PETA certified, because I at least know of the PETA bunny, and they're claiming to be cruelty free because there's a bunny on their packaging, it sends red flags ablazing. Because it's like, so as lovely as it is that you have Bugs Bunny in the bottom left hand corner, I'm not sure which organization is telling you or like assuring us that you are not testing your products on animals, because I think that that's deceiving marketing. Not only that, but sometimes people can have the PETA bunny on there. And again, I'm not going to get off on a tangent about this, but sometimes brands will have, like Wet n Wild, they had, I think, the PETA bunny on there, and came out in the wash that they were selling in China. So for me, that's a super deceiving message. Because people that are adamantly buying makeup because it's cruelty free are doing so because they morally think they are doing the right thing. And so for brands to schmooze people and scam people by putting some stupid little bunny at the bottom is like blatantly deceptive. It's not even like, well, they didn't follow. It's like, no, you knew what putting that little bunny was going to do on the packaging. And I would rather you just admit that you test on animals or you sell it mainly in China. Like, so that is a huge red flag. If I don't recognize, specifically Leaping Bunny, if I don't see the Leaping Bunny on there, I'm going to assume you're not cruelty free. The next one is a pretty popular red flag for so many of us at this point, because we have been duped and gooped and gagged in all the wrong ways by pressed glitters in our eyeshadow palettes. Here's the thing. Tati Beauty, rest in peace, they did pressed glitters right. They actually adhered to the eye. Yes, you wanted to use a glitter glue, but it wasn't a total fiasco. But I think most of us by now understand that if you put glitter on your eyes, you are going to have glitter remaining on your eyes until this time next year. And so many brands, I find, ColourPop being like, actually, I shouldn't even say ColourPop. They're not the worst offender. Wet n Wild is the worst offender. Because not only do they put pressed glitters in their palettes, but the pressed glitters are horrific quality. ColourPop, at least, you can manipulate them, right, to work the way that we want them to. But not ColourPop, Wet n Wild. Wet n Wild's glitters are horrific. They don't apply well or evenly to the eyes. They're patchy. They don't even swatch well. And Wet n Wild is not alone. They are in good company with other brands on the market that put those pesky pressed glitters into a palette. For me, it says that you didn't want to spend more money to develop another beautiful shadow. For me, it just really cheapens the palette and to put a pressed glitter in there. If I wanted pressed glitter, I would buy it in a single pot. I would buy it in its own palette, but I'm not going to be like, and who is seeking out these pressed glitters in palettes? Who? Let me know down below. Do you seek out pressed glitters in your palettes? Please let me know. Maybe I am misspeaking. For me and how I like to play with makeup and how I apply my makeup every day, pressed glitters in a palette are just, they're going to be a hard pass for moi. This next one might be a bit of a hot take, but it's a hot take that I stand behind. We're kind of veering off the beaten path here because we're no longer talking about makeup as much as we're talking about makeup tools with this one. I remember, and comment down below if you remember it too, because if you were on YouTube during that time or watching YouTube during that time, I'm sure you'll remember. But one of the selling points of Kylie Cosmetics' $300 brush set was that it was real animal hair. And I've seen other companies, not too much in recent years. That being said, I don't follow nearly as many companies and brands as I used to, but I have seen people peddling that real animal hair brushes are so superior to synthetic. And I will say I understand that there is a difference when working with them. I will not deny that. However, I will not say that it's superior. It's different. I think it's kind of manipulative and deceiving to say that they're superior. They work differently than a synthetic brush. We can certainly say that. And I can absolutely get behind that. But superior, I'm not. No, you just have to work with it in a different way. And that is all makeup, right? All makeup and all makeup formulas. I shouldn't say all, but a lot of different makeup brands are different from one another, and that's why it makes it fun and exciting to try new brands. And it's also why we like find brands and we stick with them, because we know their formulas and we know how to manipulate them to work well for us. But with these brushes being advertised as real animal hair and it's superior quality, and that's why it's more expensive, like, I'm sorry, was the goat hair that you've used for this brush, was the goat a king somewhere? An emperor, perhaps? Like, I just don't get it. Personally, I do not prefer real animal hair brushes, only in the sense that I find synthetic are softer and I have really sensitive eyes. So when I'm really going to town and blending something, I'm gonna reach for a synthetic brush. I have a mix of both, but again, a selling point for me is not real animal hair. I just don't get it. I don't get that one. And if someone's trying to peddle it that way, it leads me to believe that they've marked up the price unnecessarily. Our next one revolves around a certain word, and that word is universal. Anytime a makeup company or cosmetic company uses the word universal, especially to define a makeup product, I hear lazy, I hear cheap, I hear uninspired, I hear what is going on around here. For instance, universal brow pencils. Absolutely not. Abso-freaking-lutely not. Nope. It's not gonna work for Jane over here, who has bright blonde hair, and for Janet over here, who has black hair. It's not going to work for either of them. Or, excuse me, it's not going to work for both of them. And especially with, like, the brow products, it's like, no, Janet doesn't want to press down 10 times as hard as Jane because she has black hair. First of all, that's going to hurt. Second of all, how is she going to be precise while applying Hulk-like strength to her eyebrow pencil so that it comes out black? You could have just made a blonde and a black and a taupe and an auburn and a dark brown, and like, I don't understand universal products. The same kind of goes for, not kind of, the same absolutely goes for products that maybe don't use the word universal, but they'll use like, oh, it's sheer coverage, so we didn't need to make as many shades. It's like, so here is the kick though. If you make 3 shades, it's not going to work for 80 to 90% of people. It's just not. Because 80 to 90% of people are going to see those shades and think, I don't really think any of those are me, and pass up on it. So it's lazy, it's uninspired. Universally flattering makeup doesn't exist. And that's part of, in my opinion, why we love makeup so much. I mean, like, please correct me if I'm wrong. Please let me know your opinions on this, on universally flattering makeup. I just don't think that reigns true. I just think it's lazy, uninspired, and like, come on. We all love makeup because it suits us as individuals and it allows us to express ourselves as individuals. So I don't want to see the word universal on my makeup. I just don't. The last red flag that we are going to talk about today is deja vu products. And what I mean by that is when you're looking online, specifically on like Trendmood or Trendtopia or Indie Makeup Spotlight, seeing what's new and fun and fresh out there, and you have that moment of, haven't I seen this before? And underneath it, you see a couple words. It's usually the words, Makeup Revolution. However, e.l.f. has kind of like jumped on this bandwagon as well, where makeup companies are no longer inspired by other makeup brands' products and new formulas and techniques, but they're blatantly copying them. When I think of Makeup Revolution, I will never be able to unthink of that time that they blatantly copied Lunar Beauty, which is Manny MUA's brand, and their highlighter packaging. They like, because Manny, if I recall correctly, like had specific components made for those highlighters, and they blatantly copied them. Blatantly copied the packaging, blatantly copied the shades, blatantly copied the theming. It's wild. Wild, wild, wild. An inspired product, I think e.l.f. does inspired much better than Makeup Revolution does. Like their putty primer, for instance, that was clearly duping Tatcha, or even their Power Grip primer that is clearly duping Milk. Well, the Power Grip one is a little bit more like, did you have to make it blue? Because it almost borders that like borderline copy. But I feel like e.l.f. can kind of slide under the radar because for the most part, it's not a carbon copy. The packaging is not exactly the same. The names are not exactly the same. It doesn't all line up to be a blatant copy. We know what they're doing. We know that they're like duping another company's work. And I appreciate being able to access new and innovative and great formulas at a lower price point. I am a social worker. I'm a medical worker. I work in social services in the medical field. I do not make grandiose amounts of money. I make a fair living, but if I can find a great, powerful formula for a more cost-effective price, I'm happy to do that. That being said, I'm not willing to support a brand that has blatantly copied every aspect of another brand's ingenious idea. I don't think that's appropriate. I just don't think it's appropriate. I just don't. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. If you enjoyed this video, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up. It would mean so much to me if you would subscribe to my channel down below. As always, please stay happy, stay healthy, and stay blessed. And I will see you on the next video. Bye, guys.